What happens when America's favorite home renovation star goes head-to-head with one of television's most experienced hosts in what began as a normal morning show chat but turned into the most uncomfortable live TV moment of the year? Before we dive into this unbelievable exchange, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and tell me in the comments what you think really caused this shocking confrontation. The Today Show studio buzzed with its usual morning energy as Joanna Gaines took her seat across from Hoda Kotb. What should have been a simple promotional interview about Joanna's newest Magnolia Ventures was about to become television gold, but not for the reasons anyone expected. "Good morning, Joanna. It's so wonderful to have you back with us," Hoda began, her warm, friendly smile lighting up the studio. "Thank you so much, Hoda. It's always great being here," Joanna replied, adjusting her signature cardigan and crossing her legs. She looked composed, but something in her expression hinted at tension beneath the surface. "Now let's talk about your incredible empire," Hoda said smoothly. "Magnolia has become this huge brand, the network, the home goods, the real estate. Some people are saying you've drifted pretty far from those original fixer-upper roots. How do you respond to people who say you've lost touch with everyday families?" Joanna's smile faltered for just a heartbeat before she replied. "Well, Hoda, our mission has always been about helping families make beautiful spaces no matter their budget. We've just been blessed to reach more people now." "But let's be real," Hoda pressed, leaning forward slightly, her journalist instincts kicking in. "A throw pillow from your collection costs more than some families spend on groceries in a week. Doesn't that seem a bit out of touch with the values your brand was built on?" The studio air seemed to chill a little. Joanna clasped her hands tightly in her lap. "I think what we're offering is quality, things that last. When you buy something well-made, it serves your family for years." "Investment pieces," Hoda repeated, nodding slowly. "That's one way to describe a $90 candle. But let me ask you this, and I don't mean this the wrong way. There have been reports about working conditions at your Waco facilities. Former employees mentioned long hours, short breaks, and pressure to keep up a certain Magnolia image. What's your response to those claims?" Joanna's jaw tightened slightly. "Hoda, I'm not sure where you're getting this, but we pride ourselves on having a positive and supportive work environment. Our team is like family to us." "I understand that's the official line," Hoda said calmly. "But we've spoken to several former employees who described things differently. One said they felt they had to smile constantly, even under stress, because that's the Magnolia way. Another mentioned being written up for taking too long in the restroom. Does that sound like the family environment you're describing?" "I think," Joanna said, her tone sharpening, "that sometimes unhappy employees tell their own version of events which doesn't always reflect the truth." "So you're saying they're lying?" "I'm saying everyone experiences things differently, but our company values speak for themselves." Hoda's eyes didn't waver. "Your company values? Let's talk about those. Magnolia sells this image of authentic family life, simple living, traditional values. But you live in a multi-million-dollar farmhouse. Your kids go to private school. You have a staff to help run things. Isn't there something a little dishonest about promoting a lifestyle that your audience can't actually relate to?" Joanna's polished calm began to slip. "I think you're making a lot of assumptions about my family, Hoda." "Am I?" Hoda asked, raising an eyebrow. "Because your own social media shows a lifestyle that costs more in a month than some families make in a year. The organic food, the custom everything, the professional photo shoots. It's beautiful, but it's not exactly the simple life you're selling." "We've been very blessed, yes," Joanna said evenly. "But that doesn't mean we've forgotten where we came from." "Where you came from," Hoda repeated softly. "Let's talk about that. Because there's been some research into your family's background that suggests the humble beginnings story might not be entirely true." Joanna's eyes flashed. "Excuse me?" "Your father's business, for example," Hoda continued. "Public records show he was quite successful in the automotive field long before you started Magnolia. Your childhood home wasn't exactly the modest farmhouse people imagine, was it?" "I don't appreciate you digging into my family's private life," Joanna said stiffly. "It's not digging, it's fact-checking," Hoda replied. The story you've told, of starting from nothing, understanding the struggles of regular families, it's compelling. But it's not completely accurate, is it? The room fell silent except for the faint hum of the cameras. Joanna stared at Hoda, her smile gone completely. "You know what, Hoda?" Joanna said finally, her voice tight with anger. "I came here to talk about our new furniture line, not to have my family's personal life dissected." "But that's just it," Hoda said, her tone cool but firm. "Your family story is your product. You're not just selling furniture or paint. You're selling a lifestyle. When that story doesn't match the truth, don't viewers deserve to know? What people deserve," Joanna said sharply, "is to be inspired, to create homes for their families, not to have successful people torn apart just because they've worked hard." "Worked hard, absolutely," Hoda said, "but you've also had advantages your marketing doesn't mention. Those early property investments that started it all, they weren't exactly bootstrap buys, were they? There was family backing, wasn't there?" Joanna's hands trembled slightly. "Every family helps each other. That doesn't change what Chip and I built." "Of course families help," Hoda agreed, "but most families don't have the resources to help their kids buy multiple homes in their 20s. Most are just trying to pay the bills. Don't you see how that changes your story?" "I can't believe this is the direction you're taking this," Joanna said, visibly upset. "I'm taking it toward honesty," Hoda replied calmly. "Something your brand says it values. Let's be honest. The couple that started with nothing, learning as they went. It's a great story. But it's not your story, is it?" "It absolutely is our story." "Is it?" Hoda's tone softened, but her words were sharp. "Because having family, money, connections, and a safety net changes everything. That's not starting from nothing. That's using privilege to build more privilege." "I think you're being very unfair," Joanna said, her voice rising slightly. "Am I? Or am I asking the questions your fans might want answered? The single mothers working 2 jobs who spend their grocery money on Magnolia items because they believe in the dream you're selling? We have never told anyone to overspend," Joanna snapped. "Haven't you?" Hoda asked gently. "Your brand is aspirational. It's built on the idea that buying the right things can create happiness. You know that. Your marketing depends on it." "People make their own choices," Joanna insisted. "They do," Hoda agreed. "But they make them based on what they're told. And if they're told you understand their struggles, when you actually don't, isn't that manipulative?" "I have never manipulated anyone." Joanna's voice cracked with emotion. "We create beautiful things, and people connect with them because it's real." "We've brought jobs and business to Waco," Joanna argued. "You've brought wealth," Hoda countered. "Wealth that benefits those who already had it. The same pattern we see with your brand. Looks pretty, but it prices people out." Joanna's voice cracked again. "You are being so unfair. We employ hundreds. We've brought growth." "For those who can afford it," Hoda said. "But what about those who can't? What about the local shops that closed because they couldn't compete?" "Change is hard," Joanna said shakily. "But it's not always bad." "Change that helps some while hurting others isn't progress," Hoda said quietly. "It's just privilege with prettier packaging. I did not come here to be attacked like this." "You came to promote your brand," Hoda said firmly. "I'm just showing what that brand really means. I'll not sit here and be insulted." "Then stand up and explain how your brand helps people," Hoda said, "instead of walking out when someone asks hard questions." Joanna turned toward the exit, tears falling freely. "You know what, Hoda? You're right. I'm walking away because this isn't an interview, it's an ambush. And I don't need to stand here and take it." "Resentment of successful women," Joanna threw over her shoulder. "Resentment," Hoda repeated, her voice rising for the first time. "I am a successful woman, and I built my career on truth. That's not resentment. That's responsibility." But Joanna was already gone, her microphone clattering on the floor as she stormed out of the studio. Hoda sat there for a long moment in the thick silence that followed, then turned to the camera. "Well, folks," she said quietly, "that's not how we thought this morning would go." And there it was. one of the most explosive interviews in recent memory, where America's home renovation queen showed a side of herself no one expected. What do you think really set her off? Was it the questions about her family, the accusations of exploitation, or something deeper? Hit that subscribe button if you want more behind-the-scenes moments like this.